do I believe in a higher power? Yes, but it's not a person. It's not a building. You know what I mean? So
Right.
I just feel like I don't really adapt to anything where people had to die because they thought or felt different about something that's your own choice that you accepted into your heart and decide to follow it. You know what I mean? So I just don't even consider myself like religious or anything. I'm spiritual. I know it's a higher being, and I try to have a good moral compass because I just was, that like, and I wanted to say too, I do think morality is born within us, because if you take a child that's 1 year old or just a toddler, like either 6 months or older, when they do stuff, they come and get the parent, or they be like, oh, no, or they know that they shouldn't have did that. If that's knocking over the bottle, knocking into the diapers, or pulling something out the cabinet, when we catch them, they drop it, they look like, oh, or they know. That's why they look the way they look. That's why they act the way they act when they're caught. So that I wanted to say that about morality being born with it. But when it comes to like religion and all that, it's just, if you had to die and I had to get killed because I chose not to believe what you believe, I just don't believe none of it, because I don't believe that nobody of any entity or power would say, hey, go down there and slaughter people in my name to make them do what I say and follow these rules. I just don't believe that. And ain't nobody gonna ever tell me that that is the way to salvation, or to having a higher power or entity or nothing like that. No, it's your free will to accept what you want in your heart, not nobody coming in and slaughtering me because I choose different.
Okay.
That's what Hitler did.
Let me ask you a couple questions, Keith.
Basically.
Just a couple questions. So
yes.
Within 6 months of owning a dog, does that dog start to understand when it does right or wrong?
It's not an animal and a human is two different people. Pat.
I know that.
Everybody always
this is
listen
just
though.
a general
Everybody
question.
always want to use animals and people, animals and shit to humans. We're not the same. Yes,
No,
we might have similarities,
no.
but we're not.
It's
the
just
same.
a logical question. It's just a logical question.
And I don't like it then when it's answered like that. It's still the same answer for me. It's not the same.
No, I just mean like with
animals have morality though. They're born with it.
Well, that's another question. Like, does the dog through training at 6 months understand when it does right or wrong? Because what I'm trying to ask is, I don't think the child just from being born automatically knows when it does something right or wrong. It takes discipline from the parent. Even at 6 months, it starts to understand discipline and what it should or should not be doing. And as far as this is just an overall question for the group.
Be at your door.
Right. This is just an overall question for the group. Would you say let's just talk about in Christianity or the Bible in general. Would you say that it's more the people that you would say that quote unquote call themselves Christians and what their acts were on this earth that turned you off or does turn you off, or what's actually in the book? Because a lot of stuff in the book does not back up any of the things that happened in reality. Like you talk about free will. That's a huge principle of the Bible. Without free will, we don't have anything. So people taking away your free will would be anti-biblical.
Can I go?
Yeah, of course.
So I was raised Catholic. I went to Catholic school for a while. I've done all the stuff like Sly said. I did all that stuff. And I remember my mom, like my dad was raised very Catholic. My mom was raised Protestant, didn't really go to church, but that's what she was. And when she had to convert to Catholicism, she asked us all to go to this like seminar with some out of like town priest. And he was like, you don't come to church every Sunday, you're going to hell. You can't come and just show up next Sunday and eat the bread. You didn't come the week before. I'm like,
yeah, but that's a lie.
No, but that's what I'm saying. I'm like, that's crazy. And I was like, and in my head, the thing with me about like the Bible is, who chose these people to write it?
Nobody.
So these people just wrote these rules and the laws, and this is what it is. And I think that we can even relate this to dogs. Since you brought that up, Pat, I do think dogs are a product of their environment, just like people to an extent. A dog doesn't grow older and know better. People grow older and know better what's right and wrong. You know what you're doing when you're in your teenage, later 20s years. When you do something wrong, you know. And if you have someone I think thought I'd mentioned about like no morality, no feelings, no thoughts of that's what's called a psychopath. I'm sorry, I'm like looking at my notes. I think that people are a product of their environment to a certain extent. Eventually, everyone grows up hearing and knowing what is right or wrong. And it's up to them to make those decisions.
Okay.
I am not a believer, and I've done drugs and been so scared of like heaven or hell. I was like, what if I'm not believing and I'm going to hell and I'm going to burn? I'm like, that's a fucking nightmare. But I truly believe just like what you put out in the world will come back to you. It is all about being a good person and having a good heart in whatever you do, even if you make bad decisions.
Karma. So, okay, what I'm finding out is a lot of people really just have a problem with how it's been displayed and have a problem with the people that have done things in this world under the banner of Christianity. So that, I think that's one of my main points with like morality is if you read the book, which the book is supposed to be the word, the law, everything like that, 99% of these things that are done in the name of Christianity are not allowed by the book. And when I say Christianity, I mean only the New Testament, because I know like a lot of people like to go back in the Old Testament and think about, you know, how people were stoned to death and things like that. Well, we don't talk
But
about
you can't disclude that, though. If you're talking about Christianity, you cannot disclude that.
No, I should not disclude that, but I'm talking about what Christianity is supposed to be.
Of the Bible.
I know that
Christianity is supposed to be nothing like what it is. It was literally just a guidebook on how to live your life in a pure manner. That's
Correct.
all it was.
Yes.
If
It wasn't
Jesus walked
until
today, would he kill people for being gay and send them to hell?
No.
I mean, maybe.
That's what it says.
You'd have to
and
ask
I
him.
think
That's what it says in the Old Testament. Yes, Jesus Christ, he preached tolerance and peace. That's not something that would
But
happen.
yet, if you sleep with another man or woman of the same sex, we preach violence against that.
We don't.
Yeah, but I mean, Sodom and Gomorrah were wiped off the face of the earth for that. So, I mean, you know, there's also that.
It was the Old
Abraham
Testament.
had to kill his own kids
No,
to
he
prove his loyalty.
God spared him.
He spared them. He didn't kill his kids. He
I
spared
know,
them.
but he had to set them up to be killed.
I mean, but no, listen. I said I don't have a label, but in the same time, I'm gonna not sit here and act like, you know, for me, I don't know about nobody else. I know where my help comes. I know, you know, what's what. Like, you know, I just feel like even if my father and my mother never really gave us the actual scriptures from a Bible or a Quran or any of that nature, I just feel like I would have the same like thinking about things and how I treat people just in general. But just having a doctrine, like Sly said, it's a guide. It was never meant to be how people have orchestrated it to be or capitalized it to be or any of that. That's what I'm saying. Like, it was just instructions that we should follow, like SOPs at work, standard operating practices. You know what I'm saying? That's all it was, you know. And I feel like, you know, because I feel like we get a misconstrued of it because they've used it to weaponize stuff and conquer and shit like that. So yes, people don't like it because you try to use it in the sense of conquer and divide and weaponize it. So people don't like it, and people have everything to say about it because we've never seen people truly use it for the realness. Because if that's the case, we wouldn't have no damn wars. We'll have people eating. It wouldn't be no poverty. It wouldn't be no homelessness, you know, because we'll have enough and everybody be using, you know, it how it should be, like real love, peace, and kindness, the stuff that they say it is.
Well,
you know,
Well, Ski, you know, the thing about religious wars is they fighting against what they think that will make their territory immoral. So it's like we believe in this so much that we have to get everything away. Like, we don't want nothing contaminating our religious beliefs. We won't lie. Just for example, we want our women to be pure. We want the men to be masculine. We want, you know what I'm saying? This works. We don't want nothing that's disrupting how we work functions. And when it functions correctly and generation after generation, and then you get somebody to come in there and you be like, oh, they introducing something that's against what we got going on, you're going to disrupt the foundation of what we got. And a lot of countries still got that. America been long gone.
Yeah,
we don't have no real foundation.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying? So you do have to have, and not saying you have to have war. And the reason only reason I say that is because you have to fight off these people, because they will try to invade, and they will try to come in and sprinkle they thoughts into your process, and then you'll get some bad seeds, and it'll start spreading. It'll start raining with them seeds.
Look what's going on in Europe right now with the Muslims. I mean, just straight conquering Europe without a shot being fired. And that's all a thought war. They're trying to install Sharia law. So to say that, you know, like the Christians or the Jews in England and France and Germany and things like that shouldn't fight back against that. I mean, that's crazy to me.
But Pat, you know what's crazy? It's warfare. So you got spiritual warfare, you got nuclear warfare, you got physical, you got mental, you got warfare is different. Like warfare is indoctrination. It's teaching people, you know what I'm saying? Like it's not just shooting bullets.
No.
You know what I mean? And a lot of people don't, you know, because like they leave that out of the conversation when they, you know, and I'm not talking about nobody, I'm just saying in general, like you forget, like, you know what I mean? So it's like if you have a whole world of purity, it's just like you being with your family and then your cousin come around and you know this motherfucker is finna taint everything around you. You like, my son is good, he don't do nothing wrong. My wife she don't argue with me, nothing, and he come over there and be like, why you let him talk to you like that? And then it just starts a war in the house.
Well, to talk about something,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And to talk about something Ski was talking about, the good books are twisted every damn day for the use of evil. I mean, look at how the Klan started. They found a couple little verses in the Bible that talked about light against the darkness, and they twisted that into white against.
No, that's not exactly what the Klan's talking about. I mean, they didn't necessarily twist religion. It's the same thing with like when they burned crosses. They're not burning a cross to burn the cross. They're bathing the evil with the light of the Lord. That's what they're doing. They're trying to bless the land that is supposedly evil from the people that are occupying it. But like, and I'm like, obviously I'm not with the Klan or anything like that, but like I try to understand the people that hate me. I try to understand why they think the way they do. Right. And from the things that I looked in with them, like especially like the Christo-fascist people that I deal with, like I'm a right-wing extremist, all right? Like I'm anti-government, you know, and I deal with a lot of, you know, racism, and I deal with a lot of Christo-fascist people, and it's like a lot of them want to return this country to Christian values. And to be honest, this country was never founded on Christian values. It was founded on religious freedom. That's what it was founded on. The reason they left Europe was to practice whatever the fuck they wanted to.
Yes. Amen. No, but I'm saying the laws and things that were developed in the Constitution were developed based off biblical principles. Now, the freedom of religion is something they put in there specifically, like you said, so we wouldn't have, you know, the problems that they have over in other countries where you got one party of religious people trying to knock out one party, you know, politically and things like that. But you're 100% right. That is in the Constitution, religious freedom to practice whatever belief you want, even if that's no belief. So I think that's a very important part of our Constitution that we need to, you know, protect.
Hey, Pat, can I ask the panel something about freedom and rights? If you abuse your rights, do you think you should still have them?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was reading the comment. If you abuse your rights, do you think that people should still have them?
What? Yeah. I get. Well, go ahead. Who's gonna answer first? I can answer first. Me personally, I think it depends. I mean, well, yes and no. Let me say that. Yes and no, because I feel like, you know, they're your freedoms. They're inalienable, but I just feel like, you know, I'm 50-50. It depends on what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? I feel like what it is, because inalienable rights, I feel like, you know, some can't be taken, you know, but it could you have get penalized or have some type of maybe fine or infraction, maybe, you know what I'm saying? But to just, you know, it should be some provisions for it. Should it be reduced, or should it be some type of consequence to a certain extent? Yes, but it shouldn't be to where it just really infringes on life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. You know what I'm saying? Within reason, because we're not God.
That's actually a pretty good answer. I like her answer.
Yeah.
Hey, EK, how you doing, brother?
Doing good, man. Doing
EK, what up, buddy?
What's going on? What's going on?
So that
anybody else? I want to hear y'all's opinion for real, because I do have I have discussions about this, about abusing your freedoms and being able to have them. Like when do they take them away? When you
So I'll get into it like this. So I think all gun laws are infringements. There should be no gun laws. I should be able to go buy a machine gun at the mobile. You know what I mean? Like I firmly believe that's the most American thing. It's our Second Amendment right. Period. Do I think that somebody who got hit with gun charges should take that right get taken away from them? Temporarily, sure. But if you can prove to me or to society or to the judge that you've did your time, B, you've reformed, C, you're taking whatever classes, be it anger management or doing something for the community, whatever. If you can prove that you can earn that right back, you should be able to get it back, period.
So that's
in a reasonable amount of time. That's my solution. I think if you violate your rights, I mean, within reason, if you violate the rights that you were given, I mean, you should be able to get those rights back within reason. And if you can't prove that you deserve to have that right back, I mean, hey, you fucked up in the first place.
Right. So why get them back?
Well, I'm gonna ask you this. Let me ask the panel this. But there was a situation where since we're talking about gun laws, remember there was a situation where Hunter Biden had a gun and he accidentally shot somebody, right? So, and he didn't get no consequences for it. So why do you think that is?
Well, he didn't shoot somebody. What was the issue was the fact that on his 4473 paperwork, he lied. He was on cocaine. We have pictures and videos of him doing cocaine with the gun too, before and after he bought it. Those federal charges were for him lying on his 4473 paperwork. And the reason why his case got thrown out was because if they were going to say, hey, yeah, that's fine, you can do drugs and have your gun, that would have set the standard for the nation to be like, oh, bet I can smoke weed and have my gun still. You know what I mean? So that Hunter Biden thing was going to be case law, and they knew that going into it, which is why they threw it out.
They don't want that because as soon as they get on that case law, anybody can use
Yep.
it.
Yep.
We can abuse it.
Yep.
Well,
So I'm going to go to Robin Andrews at the bottom real quick.
Go ahead and answer her comment.
What constitutes being reformed with gun law violations? And after this, we're going to go on to our second topic of the night. Reformed. I mean, that's a good question. Like, how do you attain someone's mental status going forward? Like,
you don't get a second gun crime within 6 months. You got people out on multiple gun crimes within a year. I mean, you got people that are out. You got people that are out on multiple gun crimes within, a couple weeks of getting out again. I'm out here in Chicago, so like I see this shit all the time. I know people personally with multiple gun cases. They keep getting caught because they keep needing to have one, and they keep getting let go. But like, that's not a reformed person, in my opinion. Like, you keep doing it, dude. You keep doing it. So,
but 6 months later, if they just
hold on. But Sly Fox, you said 6 months. You don't think it should be longer?
Me personally, I think it should be like a year. But I mean, I'm just saying, like, people can't go 6 months without catching a gun charge out here, and they keep doing it. So it's like you're not really reformed because you keep doing it. You're not keeping yourself out of these situations to get caught with it.
That's not being honest, because there are a lot of people in that city that are doing that.
So can I bring up something?
Are we only doing that? I mean, not getting gun charges on repeatedly.
No, I know, but there's just as many that are though.
Okay, go ahead, Liz.
What'd you say, Liz?
Are we only talking guns, or are we talking just like freedoms in general?
In general, but we were on guns.
Because they turned into guns. Because one thing that I'm very passionate about is no matter if you get a felony, it's so hard to get like an apartment even. How are you supposed to prove yourself a member of society? And then if you might have sold some weed, but now you can't get an apartment. And so when it comes to what you should be able to do, I think the number one thing that really pisses me off is that people incarcerated can't vote.
I would agree on that.
Just because you made a bad decision, you can't vote. People who are in rehab for drug abuse trying to better their lives are restricted from voting because they cannot leave their rehabilitation center.
Well, let me ask you this.
That is a violation of our constitutional rights.
So why do you think that? Why do you think they're pushing them away?
I don't know. I asked that when I was in there.
Well, it's one of those when it comes to non-voting felons, that's like one of the rights you give up as a felon. Like when it comes to the felony,
I was in rehab.
Right, and I get that. And with rehab too, it's one of those things that's like when you're voting, you're not even supposed to be high, you're not supposed to be drunk, you're supposed to be in a sound state of mind, you're supposed to be in a state of being.
But I was in a sound state of mind. I was
But being
in
right, but you didn't finish the program. You're in it. You're going through it. That's why they didn't let you do that. I had an ex that went to rehab, same thing. But like,
put drunkie down the street and crackhead down the street and meth head down
They're
the
not
street.
documented on paperwork.
you're right. They're not on paper. They don't on papers. You were. That's the difference.
So
You don't
basically, what he's
document
trying to
paper
say
and
is
not. That's the
One at a
thing.
time. One at a time.
I'm
yeah.
sorry.
So basically, what he's trying to say is that, man, mentally they don't feel like those type of people is mentally ready for something like that. Like they don't. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. But I think mentally, most people who's on drugs is pretty much not all there, unless they is
Hold on,
rehabbing.
wait a second. That's
Go ahead.
rude. That's rude a little bit. Because Sly said what it was. Sly summed it up what it was. Why they can't because they're in the drug program. They're currently in it. They're in the present. So therefore, they are going through it. So they have a lot on their plate right now. So that's kind of that's a slippery kind of situation. They're it's not that they're not all there. It's just they have a lot on their plate. So
Well, let me ask you this,
not
Ski.
conducive.
Let me ask you this, Ski. So most people that's in rehab, do they even consider them citizens? Do they treat
They're
them?
citizens?
Listen, they're citizens.
They
They're
don't.
just in
No,
rehab.
they don't. No, they don't. They don't treat them the same in society. Not for a regular Joe Bro Smo. Like somebody that's actually taking drugs or doing drugs. You know what I'm saying?
They don't have a right to get a job or nothing. What do you mean they don't treat them the same?
I mean, what kind of job do they really get though?
Any job.
Hey, they're in rehab. They're usually inpatient unless they might be outpatient. Like I have a cousin right now. He's a radiologist, right? He's outpatient. He's outpatient, right? Because he can't go inpatient because he works still and he goes through his job. You feel me? It's a whole process, right? So it's not like, some people are inpatient. If they outpatient, if they're not working, that's their choice. But if they inpatient, they're probably inpatient for weeks or maybe some months. You know what I'm saying? So they're not planning on working. They're not planning on going to school. They're planning on getting through their treatment plan. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I get that part, but what I'm saying is that in society, you really think that, like, say for instance, somebody that's clean and that's wholesome compared to somebody that's on drugs and they're down and out, you think they're going to give them the same opportunities?
Legally, they have to.
That's up to the business owner.
No. I didn't say legally, because legally, yeah, you're right. But
like I said, that's up to the owner of the business, Eric, because there's a lot of people that do hire those type of people because maybe they used to be a crackhead.
They get tax breaks, dude. They get tax breaks for hiring felons. They get tax breaks for hiring ex-convicts and junkies and shit, especially in places like Indiana. These blue states that are full of drugs.
Think about what you just.
They get tax breaks, man.
Think about exactly. That's exactly what I'm trying to get to, man.
So if anything, they get better chances to get a job than I fucking do. Some junkie who's reforming his life is going to get a job over me. That's what's happening.
But let's be honest. What kind of job is he going to get? McDonald's? Is he going to get a corporate job or he going to get at McDonald's working in the drive?
He could work in my warehouse.
Let's be honest.
He could work in my warehouse. We hire junkies. We hire junkies in the warehouse. We hire junkies in the warehouse. I've seen them. I know them personally. We hire junkies in our warehouse.
What kind of warehouse? What kind of warehouse is it? Is it just moving boxes?
I can't say the name of it, but we work in logistics. I work for a logistics company. It's all moving boxes. Yeah.
Nigga, everybody know a crackhead that fixes cars. Right. Stop playing, man.
That's what I'm
But hold on, man. Hold on. That's totally different.
It's not. It's not different.
It is different,
Period.
man. If you think about it.
Is a junkie, bro. You clown.
Period.
Robin Andrews said most can't get housing though, so that is something else.
We know,
but that's because they're broke.
We know most crackheads work on cars, correct? I mean, let's be honest. That's
they good at some shit.
I'm just being honest, man. We acting like they can just come in and get a job better than us. I mean,
but they can though.
Hey, can I tell you something?
They are privileged when it comes to getting a job.
We're gonna go to the next topic real quick.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. My pops, who I love, that nigga gonna get hired in a Cody Bird, nigga, and was always supervisor. Was out 20 years in the military, baby. You hear me? And go smoke you down, baby. Go smoke you down. Okay? Go smoke ball on your ass.
Listen to what you just said, though.
No.
He's from the military. He's gotta have some type of background behind him.
The point you said was junkie. And somebody could call my daddy a junkie. Like I just said, a nigga gonna smoke a ball and smoke you down. But that nigga was supervisor, retired from the military, 20 years. Okay? Booyah!
But you said military,
junkie.
right?
We said junkie. We said junkie.
Military.
That's my daddy.
I get it. I know we talking about junkie, but when we attach military onto it, yes, that's
junkie, nigga. I'm just saying he was that nigga.
I mean, I'm not understanding.
Next.
There's only certain
next. We're on
next.
To the next one. All right. So the next thing I wanted to go over real quick.
Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm off. Go ahead.
Shout out to Travis. Shout out to Travis all in the comments.
Yeah, I hear
him. Pothead is not a junkie.
You're right.
Tell him, Travis.
So, Steve, you had something that you wanted to bring up tonight about the commercialization of religion. Would you like to go ahead and explain that for us?
Yes. I relocated to a major city in 2015. I grew up, like I said, 5%er, Baptist, AME, been in a lot of church settings, life, and, kind of went, AME is kind of small, but they are big around, blah, blah, blah. So I moved to Houston and I was going to a church that kind of popular. Everybody knows Shawnee O'Neal married him. But anyway, another story. And when I got to Houston, I was like, okay, I'm looking for a church home. So when I got there,
can we get the male version, Ski?
Good enough. Continue.
But make a long story short, every church I went to had a Starbucks, had a bookstore, had a car wash, had a care center, and nothing was free. Like I grew up where, you might have paid a little $25 for a little pastor anniversary or, stuff like that, just minor stuff. But now it's just like when the Starbucks got to the church, it was just like people in there with frappes and egg white yolks, you know what I'm saying? And nothing was free, even like when you became a new member, they give you like little printed out tithing books and tell you what you're gonna pay. And it was just like a business. It was like a commercial like that. You get a snapshot after you get done, so I kind of like went to the mega church for a couple of years. It was cool. Had a lot of stuff to do, but everything costs. Like if you wanted to go to the singles like ministry, that was $100. You wanted to go to the bowling night out, it was $100. You know what I'm saying? Like nothing was like inclusive to the people who didn't have the extra tools and fuels. Because it wasn't all middle class or upper middle class. It was all people was going to the church. And it's just like every church was like that. That was mega, they had 9 services, so one of the time the pastor was even having a service at like Grooves, which is a nightclub, and but it was like during the day, so it was like brunch time, but they still serve alcohol. But so I guess what I'm saying is like I kind of pulled back from church and another why I solidified the whole religion thing, and I stepped back from because it's like it was more like who's who and who can get the Starbucks or who can get the car wash attached or who can bring TD Jakes or it was just more competitive. It wasn't like they was out saving the shook and shut in or going through the community and stuff like that. It was more like how can they brand the church, like what I'm saying, like they was branding the church.
No
like,
community.
It almost seems like their God is money.
Yeah, it wasn't like nothing. It was just really, really like alarming. Like I remember when I grew up in church, you couldn't even have a peppermint. These kids got Starbucks, and they're trying to get the last little corner after frappe and shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, damn, I mean,
this is the exact same reason why I stopped going to church as well, miss.
It was just like, I didn't like that because, I mean, it's cool. I understand times is changing and everybody want convenience, but having like 10 ATMs in your church and laptop controllers and pads and, you know what I'm saying? That's just a bit much.
That's overdose. That's OD. That's OD.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
production.
That's why I feel like it's being commercialized because it's just about people like get online and say who at church today. People be like taking pictures in Atlanta at the churches, like or just in Houston or Chicago, like, oh, girl, did you see Twister at church today? Or you seen whoever? So it's just like now people are going just to like kind of like branded, and I just wanted to know if it was just me that felt that or saw that, or was I tripping?
Well, I think that a lot of that too, and this happens out here a lot. We get a lot of these like black churches that pop up in North Chicago. They do good for a couple of years, and then they get busted for using the funds for their own lifestyles. So
That's
a lot of these
my-
churches, they get the tax benefits. These guys are living like kings while their constituents are giving their last dollar. It's kind of sickening to me, and that's one of those things that's always bothered me about, like, and I'm not gonna call it like black churches and like Baptists and stuff like that. It happens in Christian churches too, like with the mega churches and televangelists, you know. But like religion in the 21st century is all the almighty dollar. It's not about God and being good to one another. It's all about the money and what they can how they can live in the lavish, you know, tax-free lifestyle.
Yep.
And then I want to say this too, because one of my friends are really big on Sarah Jessica Jakes, right? And I was gonna go to her with no event, and so I got to looking into it. I'm talking about I'm not paying $240, like $240. Like how about I spent that on the concert? Yes, but that's not a concert. This is a woman empowerment convention. This is a Bible study, mega one, you know. So I mean, it's just like, so what about the women who heart was loose and needed it? They couldn't go because they ain't had 240. Like, I just think, you know, I think that's like playing. I think
that's the demographic that they trying to do. The single black woman. That's who they targeting.
But I'm saying a lot of them women a lot of single black women got a lot of black kids and shit. They can't afford 240.
No, he's right though. Eric's right though. That demographic is played on so fucking much by black pastors, by like Dr. Umar Johnson and things like that. Like that's where they get all their money from is black.
But you know what? Can I say?
And they want to fuck.
That too.
But can I say something?
They don't want to fuck. They want to fuck the kids.
But
that's what.
I just feel like with that though, I feel like you gotta read your own word though, man. Like you know, you gotta be your own. You gotta encourage and read your own word, man. Don't nobody tell me nothing. I mean, I listen to people. I listen to those pastors. I listen to my daddy, the junkie. You know what I'm saying? But I still had to do and read for myself and comprehend for ski. Like I mean, so I feel like them women, yes, that they are targeted. I give you that. But I also feel like, you know, come on, sis. You know what I mean? Come on, let's really look at these people that you coming up here talking about 240 and 150 and all this and that and for a 2-day this and there. You know, I mean, come on, man. Like you gotta do a little leg work too. So I don't see they just so victim because it's like they're letting themselves get eaten because they're not doing no leg work or nothing. You ain't reading the Bible. You ain't reading nothing. You just like, oh, she knows.
But that's how they getting them, Ski. That's exactly how they getting them because they know what is a woman, preferably a black woman, is going to do first? Is she's going to commit to the Lord or she's going to commit to her husband? She's going to give more attention to the Lord and in church with the bake sales and whatever they got going on, Bible study. They'll forget about their home more so than they will be forgetting about church. You know what I'm saying? So what it is that they're trying to keep them single because they know if they can keep them single.
Boy, watching TikTok videos.
Well, and this too, like the church is emotionally manipulating these people to do this. Like this is on the church too, because they're manipulating these women emotionally. They're not, you know, they're saying the word
hey,
God.
my great granny said, "See a dummy bump his head."
Because listen, I grew up in church too. Like I grew up in church too. My grandmother, she made us go to church because we was so into the street so much. She had to balance it out. So we used to go out of town. We used to go out of town in church. We used to go out of town. We used to have trips. We used to go to those conventions and stuff like that. Nowadays, like for the money, sometimes you don't even know where the money going. So what did Robin?
No, you good. Robin Andrews says you can't be at every church. Some churches are country clubs and don't even care about your salvation or discipline. I would say 90% of churches are of that mentality.
Fuck 99, bro. You're being easy on them.
We'll go 99.
But I think playing off of the whole, you know, who they capture, it's a lot of, like I said, you know, a lot of what they capture is the people that can't think for themselves, the people that don't have anything going on upstairs except for what's input, what they're taking in from outside, you know,
they need to
perspectives. They need to be told what to think.
Yeah.
Or desperation. I think a lot of churches can kind of like, because like, I'm sorry, what?
Sorry, my bad. I'm reading the comment. My bad. Sorry.
Travis,
what does it say?
Travis is saying church is the actual temple. Your spirit is the temple.
Amen, Travis.
That's why I tell people to read, if you're going to choose this, the path of Christ or something, read the book for yourself. Don't let people tell you what's in the book. Don't look, the groups, big masses of people doing one thing and think that's what it's about. Like, go read it for yourself.
It's about knowledge. It's about knowledge, just like politics, just like anything else. It's about invest your time and have your own opinion, inform your own. And I was told this one thing from this lady who was religious a long time ago. It was a situation, and she was like, you know what? And she was like, Jesus knows what's written on your heart, and that's what matters. And while I struggle with the concept of Jesus, I was like, what's written on my heart is being a good person, and that is truly what matters. Now, if I need to go to church on Sunday and that makes me feel better, awesome. If I can just sit here and talk to myself, that's awesome. But they even preach in like recovery and stuff. We are not the ultimate beings. There is a higher power of something, whether it's the universe, a God, whatever you believe in. We're not that ultimate power.
All right.
Let me give somebody the floor real quick. Cause somebody that's on the show keeps leaving a lot of comments, but they're not speaking up. I want them to say what they're saying, and that's you, Proverbs. I need you to unmute your mic and speak that shit that you texted in the comments right now, please. We'll count to 3, or you out of here.
What? Oh.
Be about that.
Come on, talk what you're talking in them comments. Say what you're saying.
No, I was just
Proverbs or Proverbs?
Proverbs 31.
Yeah, that's like that. Proverbs.
I was just asking, what does it mean to be a good person? What does that mean to you?
Your intentions.
So your intentions.
Actions.
Everybody has God in them, right? They do. Everybody has God in them. If you learned that in church, growing up in church.
Everybody didn't go to church.
No, not everybody.
Yeah, I don't think everybody has God in them, but there's like a million other religions out there.
Like
or the morality.
They may not stay with God. They may not stay with God, but everybody has God in them.
Well, I would disagree on that because like
you
with what we're calling Christianity, you have to choose that. You're not born with that.
But see, that's a religion, though. That's a religion. That's
what it says in the book.
It's a relationship. It's not a religion.
Those are just instructions, though, man. It's so many Ethiopian instructions. It's a lot of scrolls. Instructions. It's a lot. It's instructions. They just gave us those instructions. There's
the Old
levels
Testament
to the instructions.
is legalistic.
They just gave us those that's accessible. You know what I'm saying? It's levels to the instructions. So you know what I mean? It's just instructions. It's not law. It's not nothing. It's instructions.
The thing is, people don't want accountability and correction.
Amen. Say that again. Who was that? Proverbs?
Yes, ma'am.
Yep.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, people don't want accountability, but it's just instructions, though. It ain't. It's just instruction for us to live by if we want to have a cool little time down here on this little planetarium.
Yep. And I want to talk
about y'all know what's crazy about like having instructions? Like your body tells you what's right and wrong. Like let's say if you walked into a store one day and just living life, you don't understand. You about 10 years old. You know that everything in here you ain't just supposed to pick up and put in your pocket. Like you will feel that shit.
Are you saying like conviction?
Yeah, like but you'll just understand this is wrong. Like if somebody
don't,
but some don't have that.
Some people don't have that.
Yeah,
They do. They just don't care about the content.
Well, I still argue that the kid
socio,
know what's
not
right
psycho. Let's do socio. Yeah, but no. But see, that's what I'm saying. Like, go ahead. My bad. No. I was just gonna say, like, if somebody, like, have y'all ever been around some people that you really didn't know, and then like they maybe not have, they might have meant some harm, but you just didn't like your energy you couldn't settle.
Yep.
And it wasn't nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like you feel that shit. And I think a lot of people, it's a lot of things in life that we naturally understand because we like, this is wrong. We know it, but we need the book to tell us like, come on now. Like sometimes
a lot of people are led by their emotions and led by their heart, and the heart is deceitful and wicked. So that's why lean on not your own understanding in Proverbs 3 verse 5.
But what makes the heart wicked? Because I'll tell you right now, it's my heart that makes me a good person. Without that, I'd be a piece of shit. My first instinct is to be a piece of shit. I was a scumbag for a lot of my life, and my first instinct is to still be a scumbag. But it's a conscious choice that I have to make a good decision.
If it aligns with the word of God.
But Sly Fox, I guarantee, even though you was trying to say you was a piece of shit, I guarantee you knew what right from wrong was, right?
Didn't matter. Still doesn't.
No,
I know what right from wrong is, but I still have the capability to do what I need to do. You know what I mean?
It's the brain. It's the environment. It's the brain. It's the environment. It's what you've been shown, what you were led to.
Yes.
And so you follow that path until you're old enough to know better.
I disagree.
No, I disagree.
I disagree. Like I said from the beginning of the show, I literally think you're born with it. You know when you kill something, whether it's a bug or a fish or whatever it is, whatever little insect you can kill at an early age, you know when you kill something, or you know when you knock something over, and you know you did something wrong. Before somebody taught you what wrong and right really is, you know you fucked up. You can tell by a baby's reaction they fucked up. They know they fucked up.
But some people don't.
No, they don't have. The brain doesn't develop until you're 25.
You can learn from a baby.
It doesn't need your brain doesn't. That's what I'm saying. It's naturally
learn from a baby.
It's naturally.
But they go off of reactions, and mirroring can also.
It's your environment.
Y'all acting like y'all don't feel the rightness and the wrongness of what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? You may not care, but you feel it. You know what's right and what's wrong. You just probably don't care.
I agree 100%.
You feel that. You feel it.
Well, I guess
know it. Just like when you say, Sly Fox,
and I hate to
like a piece of shit. When you said you was a piece of shit, you know what consequences when it comes to being a piece of shit, right?
Who doesn't?
That's what I'm saying. So you can't say you don't know what right from wrong is, fam.
He didn't say
that's not the argument. That's not the argument.
He says he knows what right from wrong is, but his first instinct is to be an asshole.
My first instinct is to be an asshole. That is my 100% first instinct to this day, is to be an asshole.
Defense mechanism.
But he knows that what he's doing is he needs to go the other way. So he knows the difference. Not that nobody knows the difference. It's like you said, you got free will. You got free will to do what you want.
And
like
my
you said, Eric, if you want to believe we got God in us, because I believe we got God and the devil in us. I think we both got the
absolutely right.
Either one.
That's a great point. That's a great point.
When we was little, we watched cartoons and the motherfucker pop right up here on your shoulder. It'd be the goddamn nigga in the red motherfucking angel right here telling you what you should do and which is your conscience. Your conscience is the God in you and the devil in you, and you just follow your conscience.
You can't have the Holy Spirit and the devil at the same time.
I would say you have the Holy
Yes,
Spirit.
you can.
The devil is a liar.
Where did the devil come from, y'all?
We're
God and Satan all in one. We are the being human and having the free will is being good and bad all at once. It is literally that free will, having the free choice to be a piece of shit.
Wrong. Even though you may not do right, you still know what right from wrong. Like you said,
we agree.
Some people don't.
Well, those are psychopaths.
They do. They just choose not to think about it like that. But they do. Everybody has a consequence to where they know what right from wrong is.
That nigga that stabbed that white woman on the church in Chicago knew exactly what he was doing. I don't want to hear all that mental illness shit. No, he knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
Well, they say with like serial killers and stuff, like they start
just like the shooter from Charlie Kirk. He knew what the fuck he was doing.
I don't think that's mental illness.
He knew exactly what he wanted to do.
Yeah, but that was SSRIs. Like that has a lot to do with those kind of things, and that's an entirely different subject because we're altering the natural state of being, which is our brain and our brain chemistry. Everybody's different, but we do have a default state of being. And a lot of these people, and this is going to tie back into the religion aspect of it, do you think that taking away your emotions with SSRIs and other antidepressants, do you think that's against your religion? Do you think that's like taking away with the gift of free will that God gave you to feel these emotions? Because I fucking do. I think that if you're a religious person, you shouldn't take antidepressants.
Well, I'm not religious.
I
have a relationship.
What it does, taking those antidepressants, it makes you feel a certain way.
Are you saying it alters how you perceive reality? I mean,
yes,
I guess
it absolutely does. Because
hold on.
Because you're numb.
Let me ask you this though. If they have diagnosed you with something because you already off and they give you something to balance it to make it neutral, isn't that the goal? Like
They're not making it neutral though. What they're doing is they're neutralizing emotions altogether because you feel too many of them. You're either too happy and too sad. When you also have to realize that 99% of these psychologists and psychiatrists, they get kickbacks for putting their patients on these drugs. So
why do you think they got the pins on their desk with the name of the drugs on them?
Yeah, and
but there's so many people. There's so many people who would do so much worse if they didn't have certain things.
No, they wouldn't. If they had counseling and they actually had a good counselor that actually gave a shit about them, they would be better. They don't need pills that make them feel nothing, that turn them into literal zombies.
That's what makes them.
Different.
That's what makes people suicidal when they be on those antidepressants.
Yes.
For real, it
So does
changes your whole
Chantix.
mood. It changes everything.
Chantix is.
Well,
That's so does stuff that makes you quit smoking.
Yeah, I never tried that. I just went.
No, that sounded terrifying to me. But that's not an SSRI. That's like can't you just like go get that wherever?
Yeah, but that's
or just ask your doctor. And then you got people shooting themselves with Ozempic, just like shooting themselves with steroids now. Like shit, I'll be skinny.
I got a question for Robin. I was trying to see where can I get one of them Holy Spirits from? Do they got them? Are they gonna sell it? Where can I get one of the Holy Spirits from? Because I don't want no smoke when I die. If they got a sale coming up, discount, whatever, just let me know. I'll get 2 of them bitches.
Well, ain't no.
A Holy Spirit is a Christian that got shot up.
Let me ask y'all a question. This because we're talking about morality too. I want to ask you this: if I'm a guy from wherever the fuck Osama bin Laden's from, and whatever I believe in religiously is to fly a plane into these motherfuckers. What you know what I mean? Is morality really just subjective? Just like everything else in this world is subjective?
Absolutely, morality is subjective because, like you said, I mean, granted, it wasn't bin Laden and it was the Saudis and all that stuff with 9/11 being an inside job. We all know that. But when it comes to religious extremism on the Muslim side, and Pat kind of touched on this a little bit earlier, yeah, they believe that the Holy Land belongs to them and anybody else is an infidel. Same with the Jews. They believe that anybody who's not a Jew is just a piece of shit goyim. And that's the way they really feel. Anybody who's not a Jew is less than human. We are just dirt. We live to serve them. Now, how moral is that? Do we accept that that's their religion, that we are just goyim to these people?
That's a different kind of question though. Because now you're asking because now you're saying these people that believe that what they think is righteous are they wrong for defending what they would call righteousness?
Is it wrong for them to literally destroy Palestine and what's the word for it, to genocide these people, women and children? I think that's wrong.
I would say that's wrong, but what's going on in Palestine? Is it a whole bunch of bullshit? Because if it's a whole bunch of bullshit,
it doesn't exist anymore. They literally leveled it. They now sit. You got to get 10 million people that sit in a 10 square mile radius now.
Well, what was going on prior to why are they picking on them?
Exactly.
It's been thousands of years.
They've been picking on them since
recently,
the beginning of time.
October the 7th, that's what
they've been on them. They let them in 1948. They let those displaced Jews into their home in 1948. They let them come in. They took them into their home in Palestine and took them in as their brethren. And then
Palestine kept taking and kept taking and kept taking. The Israelis kept taking from them.
They took them in. They was asylum seekers. And they flipped the switch and tried to take everything.
But
that's
what does
everybody hates to remember?
But what do Palestinians practice? That's what I'm asking.
They're Muslims.
They're Muslims.
Oh,
That's a great point that Travis said. He said, "This is why I'm not religious, because depending on it's an enemy of others." And that's kind of true.
Nobody has. No. Shout out to my brother Travis. This Kansas City right there, man. Love you, brother.
Okay, but religion and relationship are two totally different things. So I don't claim religion. I claim a relationship with the Lord. I'm not legalistic. Yeah. I don't follow the Old Testament. Like I read it, and there's prophecies and stuff, but I'm not legalistic. And so people try to put Christianity with that group And I'm like, hold up, that's not what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So if you're saying religious, I'm not religious.
So Proverbs, hold on, Proverbs. So are you single?
Yes, sir.
Okay, see that's kind of what I was saying about religion. They target when they target single women
Hello.
because they know that they're going to follow religion more than they follow their relationship. That's what keeps them in church.
She doesn't
That's
go to
what
church.
keeps them in church. The difference is when I grew up, it was more of a community.
Right.
You
The
know what I'm
family
saying?
went to
Like
church.
I'm with you
it was
on the
more of a
community
community.
thing.
Oh yeah, that's a
We
good
went
And
on
point.
unity.
vacations. We took trips like as a family. But now
Yeah.
they don't do that. They don't do that. They don't do that.
Yeah. That's a fact.
It's all about the money nowadays. It's all about the
But
money.
Mac, remember, yeah, did y'all come on Mac Mall stream? Because you know Mac Mall used to be a preacher. He was breaking all of that down.
Well, he need to come on. Where he
Yeah,
at,
he would have
man?
been good for tonight.
I sent it to him. He's Mac Mall was breaking all that shit down. Double O was there. He was
All
breaking
right.
it
Ask him
all
how much
down.
money he skimmed from the top.
But see,
All
that's what
right.
he was saying. He was Mac. I'm gonna speak for Mac because I don't know if we're gonna be able to reach him tonight. But I'll tell you like this. This is what he was saying. He was like, they was telling him to keep quiet and keep praying on the week, but he was like, he was doing it. And I ain't gonna say he was doing it, but he was like giving it back. Like he was buying books and like he wasn't using the church money to do anything bad. Like he was just trying to reinvest in whatever. That's what he was, you know what I'm saying? That's what he was saying.
Put that back up. Put that back up, Evans. Put
I have a
that.
question. What made him go?
Because what
What
I
made him
want
go into being a pastor?
that comment
Hold on.
that
All right.
she
Now, you know
said.
what?
I
I'd
rather
Now I
rather
got to
have
get him.
God's protection
Let me,
than to be
let,
yeah,
abused right now.
I mean,
but
I just would like to know, what made him, like, did he have a come to Jesus moment, or like did he go to theology school, or he have a near death experience, or
I gotta, you know what? Let me just hit him and see. I'll be right back. Let me just call him real quick.
listen,
thank
That's
you.
a really good question, though, Sky. What gives you the qualifications? Because they're also like counselors, act as therapists. But if you go to a professional therapist, they have a degree working with people with all these sorts of traumas and issues.
Right.
So, I mean, I work in the medical field, so I might be able to talk to you about just like saving your life. Right?
Being a Christian or being being a pastor or being a priest or being a pastor is different than being a priest. Being a priest, you actually have to go through like
Oh, that's
Catholic
right.
school and all
Well,
the jump through
and
the hoops. But
normally,
being a pastor, there's no hoops to jump
Seminary
through. You can
school.
but
just be a member of the church and be the
I
new
can
pastor.
understand
but
Yeah,
this
I
theology.
can start
but
a
this is
fellowship right
why
now
I'm
if I
saying
wanted to.
churches are confused because if we're going by God's law, a woman is supposed to be by a man's side, and it just seems like they're not making it seem like that's what the most important thing to do.
Yes, but that's
It goes
Yeah,
back to
culture.
that money.
People
I mean,
are
yeah, that's the pastors you're talking about, though. Like,
yeah,
yeah, if they're preying on single women to get their money and to keep them
And
funneling the money into it, yeah, that's a
comment
problem with
that
the
she made,
pastor, not a problem with the church itself. Now,
right.
yeah,
granted, yeah, the churches themselves are pretty. They do prey on the weak-minded. They do prey on the people with disposable income, like old people. But it's a slippery slope because some of these churches, like my in-laws' parents, like they went to a church that was funded by the community. It was in like a vacant storefront essentially, and like all the money went to pay for that storefront. They did things in the community. We went to a couple events where we fed the homeless and had like a fair for them, had like carnival games and shit, and like they did actual things that a church should do because it was more about being a Christian and doing these things versus look at our church and look at the things we can offer. Look at the trips we can go on. It had nothing to do with it. They would hold Bible studies at the house when they lost the building. You know what I mean? Like there's a difference between being a Christian and practicing versus being a Christian for the show of it and for the church
the
of it and
clout.
for the car. You know what I
That's what
mean?
they doing now a
absolutely,
lot in a lot of the
It's
black
a
absolutely.
trend.
churches. That's what they doing. That's what a lot of the black churches is doing because, like, I'm gonna keep it real. Like being
And
in
white.
Indianapolis and going through the neighborhoods and seeing all these churches, but I'm seeing all these abandoned buildings, abandoned property,
Yep.
dilapidated, whatever, and high grass and all this and that. Being cleanly and God, it's next to godliness. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the community. How's the storehouse here and nobody's prospering? I don't understand. If he's here, you know, and 2 or 3 are gathered in my name, I'm there, and it's 100 of y'all, 1,000, and everybody giving $10. I mean, I'm just saying, how can nobody come to seek any shelter in the neighborhood? Like, we shouldn't even have to have trustees and stuff. We should be able to go to the storehouse. You know what I'm saying? I mean, just on y'all doctrine that y'all saying, and it's multiplying, and it's the tithing and all that.
Well,
y'all should be able to pour into the community.
It's awesome
with
that people go overseas to like Honduras to help out, but help out here.
If you go
But see, on with that too, like my grandmother near her, she was probably in her 70s at this point. She got really into Joel Osteen. You know, I was a teenager, and she would watch him, you know, religiously, and you know, whatever the fuck. But then when Katrina happened, and he refused to open his church for people that didn't have anywhere to go, that's when it hit her, the realization that why the fuck am I sending this guy money? He wouldn't even open his mega church for people that don't have anywhere to fucking go in their own community. But you have your mega church, right?
That's insured. That's insured.
That's insured.
That's insured.
Well, we got Mac Mall on here. Mac, what's going on with you, player?
Hey.
With you, Playboy? How you feeling?
Chilling, man. So we wanted to get your insight, man. Red Pill said that you used to be a former pastor. I didn't know that. So I want to give you the floor, man. Like, tell me how you feel about this situation.
Question.
Oh, no, you got to get Mac on there.
Oh, yeah, he got to get Mac on there. But basically, man, we was talking about how the church is different now. Like, when I was basically saying that church now is basically the demographics for single women. They keep single women in churches. And I want to get your feel about the situation. Like, how do you feel about how church is being perceived right now?
Well, I can tell you.
And I got a question too. When you get done,
go ahead. I'll answer both of them. Go ahead.
You can finish his. I'll wait. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. You can answer his.
So you saying repeat that one more time? I just want to make sure I get it right. What's the question one more time?
Basically, I want to know how you feel about how the churches is being perceived today. You know, basically, I feel like most churches is doing now, they're projecting single women. They keeping them in the church. They keeping them doing things, you know, to keep them occupied. And then when it comes to actually finding a man, it's not the man that they're looking for. But if you read the Bible, go ahead. No, you go. You go ahead. What's your question?
Mr. Mack, we would like to know: do you feel like the church now, the state of the religion and church, is commercialized? Do you feel that it's predatory to single women, preying on them because they may not have the mate there, or they may be seeking, you know, guidance, you know, from a pastor or church? And my question is, how did you know you wanted to be a pastor? Did you have like a tragic moment, a come to Jesus moment, or, you know, near death experience that make you want to be a pastor?
Well, what made me be a pastor, I definitely okay, so I had a traumatic moment, but that wasn't what made me become a pastor. That's what led me to church. As far as the church go now, it's all monetized. It's about money. It's not about nothing else but money. The people who preach to you doing the same shit you doing behind closed doors. You know, they just got the voice, they got the tone, they got the mannerisms, and they play that they are actors every Sunday. Honestly, me personally, I got a different faith right now. I don't have faith. I don't believe in nothing. So I probably would be considered an atheist right now. If you really want to be honest. The pastors and the Bible is made to control people. It teaches you to be to piggyback off what he said when it comes to the controlling women things. It teaches you to wait on God And when you wait, all you're doing is getting out of my way because I'm getting to the bag. So when you wait, it puts you in a the mind state of what they teach you growing up as a kid. You grow up, you get an education. They groom you to be workers, to be Democrats. They groom you to go to school, get a good job, retire, find a wife, do all that kind of shit. That's the American dream. Well, what you're doing is you're getting out of the way of the elites because people like me who I wouldn't say I'm a Republican. I probably lean more to conservative views. But when you think about real life, right? Um, and I'm just thinking, I'm not trying to talk about nobody's religion or nothing like that. But when you think about real life, right? When you think about praying and asking God for favor and things like that. I don't know if y'all knew, but in the Bible it says that God shows no favor. So when people say I got favor over God, I don't know where that comes from. There has to be a man-made thing because in the Bible God says he shows no favor to no one. So
I think by that verse, doesn't he mean though that he shows favor equally to among all his flock?
right. Okay. So when you talk about the Bible and things of meaning, right? Um,
And you
it
have to
can
read the
it
whole
can
story too. You
Yeah,
have to.
context
okay.
matters. Context
I've
matters.
read I've read the Bible 14 times. Okay. So what I'm saying is this: the Bible makes sense in certain instances depending on the experiences in life that you have. Um, the Bible is interpreted the way you feel at the moment that you are in at that time. And there's no real explanation for none of this shit because there's nothing new under the sun. So what I'm saying is this: I can write a book today about my life, and 70 to 100, 150, 200 years from now, somebody will read it and say, "Damn, that remind me of me." Or it reminds me of my friend. So when these things that happen in the Bible, um, to this day, like you'll talk about Solomon and Gomorrah, when the world turned to this, the things that we are actually seeing. These are propaganda things that already happened, and time's just repeating itself.
Oh,
It's
history always
nothing.
repeats itself.
History. There's nothing new under the sun. I'm
Nope.
pretty sure all y'all parents said that I've been where you're going. That's a common saying. Listen to me because I've been where you're going. That's because they experiencing things, and just like y'all kids are gonna experience the same things that y'all experience. It's just life. It's just
Yep.
things that happen. And so when you take these things literal, um, I started thinking in myself, I'm just give y'all a quick rundown, right? When I was a pastor, I got too deep and I started getting Bibles that was because the regular Bible is not written in English. The original Bible is not written in English. It's written it was in Latin and Hebrew, right?
Aramaic, I think, was the
It was Latin and Hebrew. Those were the first Bibles. Okay. So I got Rosetta Stone and I started buying a bunch of books and I started studying because I'm a Virgo. And if y'all don't know how Virgos is, we real into detail. When we get locked on something, we don't want to know everything about it. So I got so deep because the Bible does say study to show thyself approval. So when I was at that time of my life, a lot of things made sense to me in the Bible. But when I start growing as a person and start reading and start investigating and start just using you know, we say God, but I believe in a creator. So when I say I'm an atheist or damn near atheist, it's not that I don't believe in God. It's just that when people say they hear from God, they talk to God, you ain't heard from nobody. There's no voices that you hear. That's your conscience because you are born as a God.
Yeah, no,
You
I
have
agree.
this is why God in the Bible now certain things in the Bible I can relate to, like when God says we are born in his image. I don't believe it's a he, I don't believe it's a her, I believe it's a creator, because at the same time as human beings on this earth we have to understand that we are the gods on this earth. Everything on this earth we have dominion over. Everything in this earth works for the good of human beings, right? So you are a God on this earth, right? So you are made in his image. So when we talk about the praying and shit like that, right? I don't pray because I feel like God has made me perfect already. I'm in his image. So instead of me praying for a good job or praying for success, praying for peace, I go and get it.
Yeah.
I am a God. I don't ask for things that I was already preordained to have.
Thank
And
you.
so when I start thinking about this God, when we sit and pray and we think that we hear God talking to us, that's just your good and bad conscience. The Bible says that God himself said, I bring good and evil. So as you made in his image, you have a conscience. When you're gonna do some bad shit, you have a voice in your head that says, I'm gonna do this. And then you have a voice in your head that says, I'm not gonna do this. Whichever voice you listen to is the power that you have. You have a choice to
Thank you.
you
Thank
have
you.
a choice to be whatever you want to be.
Well,
When
God
you
gave us
when you think about animals and all these insects and anything in the world, God that made the God that y'all believe in, the creator that I believe in, made all these things together, right? But listen to this. Everything in the world has to abide by God's laws except for humans. A bee don't have a choice but to be a bee. A bear can only be a bear. A lion can only be a lion. A tree can only be a tree. Water can only be water. But a human, look at 2025. We're altering, we're playing God ourselves. We're changing men into women, women into men. We're inventing shit. We're doing it all because we are gods ourselves on this earth, and we don't have to abide by the laws of God, the creator himself, because he gave us dominion on this earth,
That
right?
sounds like Satanism. I'm gonna
Yeah,
keep
That's
it
I
real.
rebuke
exactly
that.
Okay,
Satanism.
right, okay,
Exactly.
right,
Yeah.
okay,
First of all,
okay.
But
Virgo.
I'm
see,
glad you said that
but
because a
see, that's
lot
Yeah.
what
of
I'm
people,
saying. Like,
right, I'm glad you said that
yeah.
because a lot of
That does
people
not align with the word
always
of God.
hold God to a standard, and they hold devil to the negative. Where I'll challenge anybody in this chat room
Let's
to
go.
Let's go.
find one person in the Bible that the devil has harmed or killed. But I
Proverbs.
can
God
name
kills like a
Somebody
million
in
many.
that
people.
Proverbs. Somebody know the
I
answer
can
to that.
name many people in the Bible that God has killed. Millions.
Let's
The
talk about
devil
it.
ain't killed nobody.
Let's
All
talk
right,
about
y'all.
it.
Yeah,
Let's
let's
talk
talk
about
about
it.
it.
Let's
I gotta go
talk
to
about
bed.
it then.
Let's
Let's
talk
talk
about it.
about it.
You
It's
name me one
hey,
person in the Bible that the devil has
hey, y'all.
killed.
I love y'all.
And the
Good
only
night.
person,
This
hold on, the only
I'm gonna get
person
off of here
that the
now, y'all.
devil
Have a good
attacked.
night.
I'm
Night,
not.
Steve.
I'm glad you're doing that because
I
this
see.
is what happens when you
That's what
spit
they do.
truth.
They run. They run
Yeah,
when it's time
this
to
is
talk.
what
That's what
happened
they
when you spit
do.
truth. Check it
Yeah.
out. The only person that the devil attacked on purpose was Job because God told him to. Okay? He wasn't fucking with Job until God himself told him to fuck with Job. So God is the motherfucker that y'all need to be worried about. Why
Well,
y'all
see,
thinking
that's
it's a
where.
prank?
The
Well,
Read
see,
jealous
that's
your
where the
God. The
Bible.
whole.
jealous
That's
God.
where
Because
the whole. That's where the whole point of history
read
being
your
written by the
Bible.
victor. God being written by the Bible. God won, cast Satan out of heaven. What have you? Satanism doesn't teach anything bad. Everything you just said is the basic level of it. We are gods ourselves. We are the only things that have sole dominion over our being and who we are as people and what we want to do with our lives because we have free will. Animals fucking don't. And I don't see why Christianity teaches that knowledge is a bad thing. Why do they teach that Adam and Eve wanting knowledge is what kicked them out of fucking the Garden of
I
Eden?
would just
I'll
Now,
tell
just
you
baby.
say
why.
that.
Just
Just think of this.
let me
Just
insert
think of
something.
the God in the Bible. He's jealous. He want
He's
all your
spiteful.
time. He want all your praise. That
Oh
sound like
my!
a woman.
I'm
A
Well,
rebuking it
oh,
again.
no, he's not
My
a
God,
Like
dictator.
A woman. A
this
No,
is
woman
no,
who
why
he's
I
not
don't
a
manipulates.
believe in that
dictator.
shit. The
blood of
God
Jesus,
that
this is
created
wrong.
all, the God that
This
created all of
false
us
prophet.
is more powerful than that
Zach, you
motherfucker in
done
that book.
came on and started storm
well,
fire.
that was going to be
Hey,
my
listen,
part.
I'm gonna just
My
keep
No,
it.
but
part.
that's
The
not the
creator
truth.
that I believe in is way more powerful than that motherfucker in that book. That
Nope.
motherfucker in that book is
Oh,
weak
You're
because
believing
okay.
in flesh. This
what
is
he does
fleshly.
is fight against a nigga that he can kill at any moment. But
Okay,
he's given him control over y'all life.
Mac, when you first started talking, the way you were going, you eventually said you were an atheist, but the vibe I was getting was more agnostic. Not that you don't believe there's a greater being, you're just not necessarily calling it God or believing in that biblical God. But I feel like
pretty
at
much
the
so,
end
because
you
I
started
don't
talking
believe
about
God is
yourself.
a man. If the God y'all believe in is a man, I don't
No,
believe
but that's agnostic. Atheist is believing there's
No.
nothing. But you
No,
seem to be
atheists, no,
agnostic.
it's not. Atheists believe in proof. So they're not against the fact that there is a God. They're just wanting proof.
So
That's it.
I've said this on this podcast before. I work in science. I'm a chemist. I work in the science field, and I really struggle with the concept of God and things that I can't tangibly see or touch. You know, like the idea of faith. Like, oh, I just believe it and it's going to happen.
We don't got to
I can't
argue.
do that. I
We don't
can't
have
just.
to argue about the fact that we know that we come from somewhere, right? But the fact of the matter is we don't know where we come from.
I don't
But we
also believe we.
claiming
I
it's
also
a
don't believe
God
we
and
come
we
from
don't know
monkeys.
for sure. We just don't know.
Well, like in
I
my
know.
belief,
That's the whole purpose of faith. The whole purpose of faith is to have an idea that makes you feel comfortable.
No, do you know what the definition of faith is? And y'all can Google this because I know this
Fear
shit like the
that.
back of my hand.
What's
The
that?
definition of faith is the evidence of something not seen.
Yep.
How the fuck can you
Yes.
have evidence for some shit you never saw before?
No,
Just
and
like
so I'm
air. You
agreeing
got
with you
evidence
on
of
that.
air. You got evidence of air.
We can measure the air, bud. We can measure gravity. These are things we can
Exactly.
see.
I got pushed over by some air one time. I ain't
it happens.
That wind done knocked me over.
Everybody runs
I
to that's like
smelled
a
some
common
air
thing
too.
to run to the air shit. You can't see air. Okay, well, close your motherfucking nose and see what happens.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. You can definitely smell it.
But this is what I'm saying. So I don't debate that the fact that we come from somewhere, but for everybody to put a status and a name on what it is, I don't rock with that. Because if you telling me that I'm because I got into science, this is why I kind of walked away from religion, right? If you telling me that me and the creator are the same people, you're saying we made in his image or whatever, right? Okay, I feel that, right? But if you're telling me that I'm as strong as the creator, I don't believe that because I can't make shit. I can't make the world. I can't make water. I can't make oceans. So there's had to be something greater than me. But I'm not gonna give it a name because that
That's being an
motherfucker ain't spoke
agnostic.
for itself. It ain't
That
spoke
is
for itself.
the definition
When
of
I
being an
used to
agnostic.
pray and ask for this and that, I used to wind up answering my motherfucking self. I didn't hear no voices. I didn't hear nobody talking to me.
So, Mac, I want to ask you a question real quick. When you're talking about, the gods within us or little gods on the earth, doesn't that kind of contradict that statement saying, if we are not able to create like the creator, how are we gods on earth? We have dominion
because we got dominion over everything. Everything in this world works for the good of human beings. So on this earth, in the physical form, we are gods.
See, I just have a problem.
We have God living in us that dwells within us.
Thank you. I said that earlier too, boy.
Yeah, I just have
work for us.
issue with like what you're defining God as.
Okay, so what I mean by we gods is this.
What he's saying is there's nothing more superior than a human being on this planet.
That's fair, but there's still something above us.
So that would make us God on this planet.
But we are not God.
But we come from somewhere, so I can identify
we
with
got
that.
God in us. We do. We do.
Holy Spirit dwells within us.
Yeah, and I believe that because, like we say, our fathers, everybody got a father, everybody got a mother. You adapt traits from both of them. So if we're from the Creator, obviously we adapt traits from the Creator. But
so the Holy Spirit is our parents?
You said what?
Yeah, the Holy Spirit is our parents. You said that you believe in the Holy Spirit and the creators of us are our parents. So you're saying our parents are the Holy Spirit?
No, I don't believe in the Holy Spirit. I believe that we adapt traits from the people we come from. The DNA from them comes to us. And this is why we have premonitions. This is why we have memories. This is why we have dreams. We are dreaming dreams from the people before us because their DNA is in us. It's just science.
So the science that's going to back up what he's saying about that is that anytime you go through a traumatic experience in your life, it alters your DNA. those traumatic experiences can be passed down through generations. They can have altering traits to your personality. They can have altering, you might not like water because your great grandfather almost drowned once. You know what I mean? These are proven facts. We can prove that. Now, when we're sitting here talking about religion from the divine aspect, that there was a grand creator that created all this, whatever. Now, I am the antagonist of what he's saying. So for me, I don't believe that we came from some divine beings. No. What I think is exactly what the ancients told us. Some people came here from the stars, taught them shit, and then left. That's where we get these genes from. The only thing that separates us from our nearest common ancestor is one gene sequence. This gene sequence is responsible for our thought, our speech, our ability to think at a higher capacity, and there's no explaining it. That's the missing link between our past ancestors and then us 300,000 years ago, where all of a sudden we come out of the caves building shit.
Right.
Trauma
And see
is
what you
not
said right there.
For Sly, real quick.
When you said we can't explain it, this is where people fill in the void. I leave it blank. I don't just start believing shit because I don't have an answer.
Well, we have an answer. The answer is if we take these ancient stories literally, where they say, and this is stuff that predates the Bible, predates, Abrahamic religions. If we take it literally, when they say that, yeah, the gods came down here, we were too fucking stupid, and they made us with their essence, not in their image. The word is essence. They took the God's essence, put it in us, the primitive beings that were here. They genetically modified us to be able to understand and follow instructions and to do things. In my opinion, us as human beings, we are nothing more than a slave species. We are the remnants of what was left over after they got what they needed and dipped.
Well, they fucked up on the genetics.
For me, honestly, that right there sound like some comic book shit. I would never believe no shit like that.
There's proof of it.
I mean, there can be written things about what happened, but just like it's lying motherfuckers today, it was lying motherfuckers back then. And I'm thinking about realistic life. We fucked, we had kids, we had babies. Okay, all that coming from stars and Mars and
so I'll give you the science. I'll give you the science then. So that specific
if
gene.
I could fly from Mars, bro, there'll be people flying from that motherfucker right now. Why stop now?
So that specific gene that's responsible for our capacity for higher thought, in order for that to have just evolved randomly in nature, all right, the amount of chaos that it would have needed to happen would be like if I took a 747 jet, took it all apart, panels, bolts, down to the nuts and bolts, let it out on a runway. That's your DNA sequence. And I sent a tornado through that runway. And then out the other side of it, that jet plane came out fully intact and put together, perfectly working. That is the amount of genetic chaos that had to happen in nature for this to have just been a fluke that we evolved this way. That is the divine touch. That is the touch of God that people speak of. Now, when you talk about the touch of God,
in the Ice Age and shit too.
I believe in all of it. Yeah, all that shit happened. We have thorough proof of it. And that's where religion kind of deviates from science. Because when you sit there and say the world was created 6,000 years ago, really? Because I have a document that was printed 10,000 years ago. The people believe that the world was created 6,000 years ago.
That's
certain Christian sects. It's not true, right? But when you get to, white people, Christianism, they believe that shit.
Black people are millions of years old.
Everybody's millions of years old. Nobody's one people, better than the other. White people have been around too.
Not white people.
They
only
were
Africans.
They weren't only Africans. See, that's the old way of thinking.
Hold on. Let them explain.
African black people are the only human beings in this world that are 100% human being. Everybody
That's a lie. That's bullshit, dude.
No.
That is bullshit. So I'm a subhuman. I'm just some piece of shit because I'm Mexican.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
Come on, man.
What I'm saying is this is why they have the saying: the darker the berry, the sweeter the juice. Because the darker you are, the more melanin you have. So the more connected to the sun you are by your dark skin. Okay,
that's some twisted ass logic, dude.
The lighter you are recessive to the sun. This is why you motherfuckers gotta wear sunblock. because
I'm
the
from
sun gives you
Mexico. We were
cancer.
sun worshippers, for fuck's
Okay.
sake. We used to sacrifice people to the sun. What are you talking about?
Hey,
Get
hey,
out of
Zach,
here.
Zach,
You're
No,
full of it, bro.
brother.
disagree.
Get off
This
TikTok,
is
man. Get off
why
TikTok.
this is why lighter skinned people have to wear
Hold on.
sunblock.
Okay, hold on.
That's some TikTok.
Hold on.
We gonna
I
do this.
find
We
that
gonna do it like
offensive.
this. We gonna do it like this because that's funny as shit. Well, we gonna wrap because we got one more topic that we ain't even got to yet, y'all, which is a very important topic. Did you want to finish it off, Pete, before we get to the next topic?
Yeah, we will definitely come back to this conversation. I promise. Promise.
Not tonight.
But yeah, for the last topic tonight we wanted to discuss is child trafficking a crisis in the USA, and that is not a question that I'm saying looking for answers for. That is rhetoric. It is a problem in the USA. Over 480,000 kids are missing this year alone in the USA. I mean, what are we supposed to do about this? We know what's going on. Like a lot of people talk about, they wanted to see the Epstein list because they wanted to see who was fucking kids on an island. That's not why that list got burnt and why you'll never see it. That list most likely has one of the evidence to the biggest human trafficking ring that's ever existed.
I want to say something.
I got a
real
lot
quick.
to say about this one. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Let me start this off real quick. So I worked at a hotel in Indy when the Super Bowl was here, and we had to go through a specific training because we had a lot of celebrities and rich people staying there, and they were like, "You're going to see people coming in with young girls. You have to look for the signs of trafficking, essentially." And I was like, "What?" And I mean, how long was the Super Bowl here? That my daughter was even born. That was like 14, 15 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Something like that. And I was like, "Oh my God. Like that's crazy." And I work night shift. And so they were like, this is when they're going to be coming in because everyone's going to be out partying and drinking. Like, Lindsay, you have to like really pay attention to what someone looks like and the mannerisms of the men and the woman. And I was like, oh my God.
They do that for every hotel when there's a Super Bowl or when there's an All-Star game.
Like a big event. Yeah. That was like my first eye opener. And I was like, because I was only like, I need my daughter. So I was like 22. I was like, shit.
That's not the crazy part. The crazy part is that other people is covering this shit up.
Yeah,
acting like it ain't going on.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about. Is basically we all know that it's happening, and we all kind of have an idea of where it's coming from, but we don't even have any evidence. They won't even allow us to have any evidence.
Well, we do have evidence. The evidence is there's plenty of it out there. You just had to have been paying attention for the last 5 years.
No, I remember when we were talking, Sly. We had like a redacted list.
Yeah,
we didn't have a redacted list. You guys had a redacted list that you got from the FBI that they released 6 months ago. I've had the unredacted his black book since 2019, since a month before he died.
I didn't
mean even got to go that far back to all this shit y'all talking about. What I'm saying is when y'all was going to Walmart when y'all was kids, nigga, the wall was filled with They used to put these motherfuckers on milk cartons and shit. It's never been a priority and it never will be.
Well, that's what I said. That's what I said when Epstein first came out. I said, yeah, that's where all the kids that went missing when we were younger went. You know what I mean? We now know what happened to all of them. They all got fucking trafficked.
No, I'm going to tell you what happened to them, right?
No.
I saw this video about 15 years ago, right? And I'm going to put y'all up on some sauce so y'all can go watch it. So they took the video down, and then I guess somebody screen recorded it and started putting up little clips of it, right? It's an interview on YouTube by a dude called Rabbi Finkelstein, right? He is elite Illuminati motherfucker, and he explains in critical detail about how they're running the world. And he did this interview like in the 50s or some shit, right? And he was basically explaining the agendas, the gay agenda, the kids going missing, the politics he go through. It's about a 6-hour interview, but it's not straight 6 hours now. Like I said, they took it down for, I guess a lot of people started watching it, so they took it down, but somebody started putting up clips, so you can definitely go watch. Now, one segment was about where these missing kids come from, right? He said that every year they have some shit called Passover, where they drink the blood of their enemies, right? All these motherfucking kids that come up missing, they kidnap. I'm trying to tell you, they kidnap
That's
these
not what Passover
motherfuckers.
is, bud.
They drink the blood of their enemies. Now, this is what he said. He said, we own all the slaughterhouses, all the restaurants, and everything, the music business and everything. And he said, since we own the slaughterhouses, we not cannibals. We don't eat the bodies. We just drink the blood at Passover. We send the bodies to the slaughterhouse and they chop the meat up and they sell it through motherfucking McDonald's as breakfast sandwiches.
Was this
Y'all think
Jeffrey
I'm
You
Dahmer
doing
gotta
who
this?
stay
said
off
This
that?
is
YouTube,
why I don't
man.
eat
You
McDonald's
really
no
gotta
more.
stay off YouTube.
That's some Jeffrey Dahmer shit.
Hey, listen,
You've been
I'm
watching
trying
too
to
much
tell you, listen,
Netflix.
listen. It's a white dude interviewing him, of some type of ex-KKK motherfucker, right? And he's interviewing him. This was an interview that happened long time ago. I don't know if it was leaked or it was what, but I saw this shit 15 years ago. I've been saw this shit, right? Didn't pay it no mind. I just came across it when I was going through my little out of the church into my Black history journey. I ran across it
You
long
got to
time
answer
ago.
something from me, Matt. You got to answer something. So you can believe that, but you won't believe the aliens and the spaceships and the scars.
Thank you. Thank
Okay,
you.
so what is more realistic? People killing motherfuckers and drinking blood, or aliens coming from the sky?
Do you really
I
think that
mean,
we're
I
the
believe
only
in
fucking
aliens
thing?
before I believe in vampires, to be honest.
Do you really
Vampires.
think we're the only thing that exists on this
hold on.
planet
Okay,
or in the universe?
so what you telling me is y'all don't think people drink blood of their enemies?
They do, but not for
I'm not saying
Passover. They
that.
don't. I
Okay.
married a Jew, bud. They don't do that for Passover. That's not what
Okay,
Passover is
so
about in the first place.
you wasn't in the hierarchy of Passover. You
It
was
doesn't
in the
matter.
little
That's not what
Jews.
they don't.
You wasn't
There's
in
no
the
kind of
Jews that
ritual
you
that would
wasn't in the
require
you
that for
wasn't in the
Passover.
1% Jews.
In the
You
story
wasn't
of
in that party.
Passover, the
You
blood of
wasn't
your
in that
enemies has
party.
nothing to do with it. It was goat's blood
Okay.
on your door, so your firstborn son wasn't taken by the Holy Spirit. That's what
Right.
Passover is about.
That was
Okay.
during when
It has
Ramses.
nothing to do with drinking blood, bud. Sorry.
Okay.
Wait a minute.
Okay.
The Holy
I'm
Spirit
gonna
is
tell you
taking
this.
babies?
I'm not finna sit here and defend shit that I wasn't there.
What?
Okay. I wasn't there, so I don't know. So
Wait a
I'm
minute,
not gonna go back
wait a
there.
minute.
If
The
you
Holy
if you
Spirit
was
is
there
taking
and I
babies?
wasn't, I'm not gonna argue with you. But what I'm saying is I listened to the interview and it was very, very fucking startling, is all I can say. Right?
Yeah, but
And I
it's
don't eat
YouTube though. You
McDonald's
gotta
just
take
because
that
of
with a
it.
grain of salt, man. It's YouTube.
Well, the thing about it is it was a documented interview, right?
That's fine.
It was a real interview, though. You
You
know,
could document me right here saying that we still practice Mayan sacrifices, and that's where all the missing kids went. And I could sit there and claim to be an expert and so and this, that, the third, and you could take that with a grain of salt, and people would believe it because they don't know
right?
better.
No, you're
But
absolutely right.
you know,
You're
Look at all the kids
absolutely
doing dumb
right. But guess
stuff.
what, though? What I want you to do is this: I want you to go to McDonald's, buy a breakfast sandwich, and test it for meat and see if it's real.
they do test it. The FDA literally tests them all the time.
That shit is
That's how
not
they
real.
got caught using that pink sludge shit, and now everything's 100% beef.
You a goddamn lie, boy. McDonald's don't fucking rot. Buy a cheeseburger and leave it out.
I didn't say it wouldn't rot. I didn't say it wouldn't rot.
Real
There's
meat
plenty of
rot,
shit in there.
motherfucker. What is you talking about?
It's beef, quote unquote, but it's got a fuck ton of preservatives in it.
Real meat rot, bro. What is you talking about?
Preservatives.
Yeah. No,
that
Mac. They throwing a whole bunch of bullshit in it. It's not that it's not real meat. It's just
motherfucker.
nah,
It didn't
Mac.
used to be, but it is now.
Who agrees
That
with
shit
Robin?
is not real
Who agrees
meat,
with
bro.
Robin's comment right here? Anybody agree with Robin's comment right here?
What's that?
Yeah, I would agree because nothing
Elites,
secret is good.
fraternities and sororities are all sick
Yeah,
Not all. Not all.
AKA
institutions.
Deltas, Sigma Phi, Q Dogs, all of them? Like, for real?
No,
I
Right?
can't.
And y'all talking ain't nothing in McDonald's real. The whole goddamn cheeseburger don't rot. The
Come to
bread, the lettuce, the cheese, none of that shit.
the French fries. Come on, man.
It's
Come on.
not
Although
made of,
French fries are
of
good.
Jewish
Don't put
enemies. It's not made of Jew enemies of the state. All right. It may not be 100% beef, but it's not made of people. Come on.
Well, you really don't know. But think about it is, like I said, I'm with you. I don't know because I wasn't there. I'm not there, but you know, the interview was very, very believable.
Convincing is the word you're looking for because
convincing,
I can see it being convincing, sure. But like I said,
Because
I
he
could go on
talked
the
about
interview.
a lot of shit. You know, just go look at it, go listen to it, and then the next time we meet, tell me what you think.
I could give you 100 different reasons why you can have a negative thought about the Jewish faith that have nothing to do with drinking the blood of your enemies and grounding up their meat to sell to McDonald's.
I don't got shit to do with Jews.
But that's my point, though. Like, there's a plenty of other real things that they do wrong that you could be, like that about, that have nothing to do with them grinding them up and selling them to McDonald's. Like the fact that Like the fact that in one of the Talmud, they're supposed to spit on the ground anytime they pass a Christian or a church. I mean, that's kind of fucked up in my opinion.
Do you understand? At least one of my friends get killed every motherfucking week.
By a Jew?
Our high school kids are reading at a 3rd grade level. Do you think I give a fuck about a Jew?
I mean, it's their fault.
No, exactly. I got other shit to think about.
I knew that was going to come up eventually.
Oh my God.
Hey, it's going crazy tonight, boy.
I'm with you. It is our fault.
Hey, let's wrap. Whoa! Let's wrap the show up before we don't have a show no more. Whoa!
Hey, I'm with him when he right, man. I'm a radical conservative. Goddamn it.
You know.
You're on the wrong show.
Right-wing extremists, man. What can I say?
Hey, man,
I call it like I see it.
A lot of people say it, but they don't say it out loud. But you said it out loud, Sly.
Hey, there's a new rule on this goddamn podcast. No more talking about the small hats. No more. Everybody can unmute themselves now.
Free speech. We got to let it run.
Man, you got
free speech.
You're violating our rights that we were talking about earlier.
Hey, man, I want to have a show tomorrow. I like doing this show.
Yeah, that shit. No. This is
with y'all. I don't want no beef with the small hats.
Oh, now you worried. Now you worried.
Hey, the First Amendment on the page, baby. We practicing our First Amendment.
Now you worried. Come on, man. You got them horns up, man. Like, you ain't worried.
I just listen to what he heard about all this crazy stuff. So YouTube will allow this.
Yo, you know what's crazy? I just learned what a small hat was. You motherfuckers ain't shit. I'm just letting y'all know that right now. I just realized what it was. I was like,
I call the Jews small hats, and I call the Japanese and Chinese pan faces.
Oh shit!
And you the one worried about having a page.
Now you
that's some fucking.
You didn't even have to do that.
They call my children half-breeds, so I think
about
that's
getting us canceled. That's gonna get us canceled, right?
We should probably wrap this up for
nothing. Mac Mall
and nobody canceled.
Sly said was not gonna get nobody canceled until you said that right there.
I ain't trying to get nobody canceled, man. I'm gonna play by the rules.
Man, you ain't do nothing. Hey, man, hey, bro, nigga. Love. This is what we doing this shit for, man. This is what we doing. This is how we got to get this shit together and make these.
We got to bring attention to certain subjects that's touchy subjects, man. Come on now.
Yeah, we have, bro. We have great conversations.
We need to let people know that there's people like that out there who believe that that's okay. Exactly.
Yeah, on top of everything, everybody's opinion needs to be, highlighted. But at the end of the day, it's like this shit right here, the shit we doing, bro. It's the wave, bro. It's not it's not. This is what it is on YouTube. Like you got people that are you got your Drewskis, you got your podcast that's in person, you got your Fresh and Fits and shit that's balling out of control. You got your whatevers and all that. But like this right here. There's like 6 content creators right now that's millionaires off doing what we're doing right now. But all we got to do is stay fucking consistent, keep this shit cracking, and do the right thing, bro. Like, we have to keep doing this shit and keeping it lit. Like, bring it when Mac Mall come in here, he turn the whole shit up. I come in here sometime, I'll be a little bit on 10. Double O be on 10 sometime, whatever it is. But, like, respectfully, you know what I'm saying? We just got to make sure that we gaining that audience, bro, because this is the wave, bro. I swear to God, I'm not.
Hey, I got a confession, right?
There they are. There they are. Again. There they are.
I got a confession, right? I've been into politics for a bit of 60 days, and I think I'm radical right now. I think I'm
I was going to say props to you, Pat, for, bringing it up and allowing it and for tolerating it. You know what I mean? A lot of people just be like, well, I don't agree with you. Like, I don't agree with what other people have said.
Well,
but you just don't shut it down because you know what? That's the First Amendment.
Well, that's my thing.
Right,
That's
but see, this is what I'm saying. I got
like,
liberal ways and I got conservative ways because I like to listen to see where people coming from. I don't like
Let's
to
talk
just
about these children.
I don't like to just judge people based upon what they say. I like to understand why they think the way they think. You know what I'm saying? So I get an understanding because we all are on different walks of life. So we're all not going to see the world the same way. We all have different experiences. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
I can't expect everybody on the panel to see where I see the world from because y'all ain't lived what I lived through, and vice versa. I don't know what you've been through to lead you to what you believe. So, but we can definitely have a dialogue and talk about it and come to a mutual agreement. You know.
There you go. And we're gonna leave on that note. I think it's time to cut it short.
Damn, we didn't even talk about the girls.
We want to have a show next week, so we're gonna.
That's important.
All right, everybody in here, man. I'll probably do one tomorrow so we can pick up where we left off on some. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, I don't get off till 7, so
7. All right, bet. No, that's cool. That's perfect. We'll do like 8
our
tomorrow.
whole schedule around
I'll get off to 9 Eastern time. It'll probably be like 9:30 Eastern.
We finished right on time, nigga. Slide just finished this beer right on time, goddamn, perfect time.
Man,
close this bitch out. EKT, one of y'all
All right.
niggas. Close
Hey
this
man,
bitch out.
listen.
Go ahead and
Let
send
you
us off.
know podcast61@gmail.com. Hit us up anytime. Hey, we appreciate y'all, man. Like and subscribe. Let you know now.
and y'all check me out on Red Pill, man. We coming to KC Mo, man.
Oh
yeah.
We coming to KC Mo, man. If y'all in KC Mo, I'm doing all the interviews before I leave, man. So let's set it up, man, so I can get on y'all platform.
Let's get it cracking, man.
Justice League #Let You Know podcast, man. We out this.
Let you know.